Greetings. Today we will be watching a 2 vs 2. It was between Twilight and Magpie versus Drummer and myself. And it was on Nuggenland. Was it the V version? I guess I thought it was the Nug version. Regardless. Alright, lots of stuff going on. So, let me grab myself here. Hold fire. Let's hang out with Twilight in the corner. So, up in the top left, we have myself. Yellow. We have blue, Drummer. We have south of him, we have Magpie, who's white, and Twilight in the bottom left, who's red. Alright, let's speed this up. Alright, so we've got eco, everyone's getting their eco on right now. Twilight with the strong energy start. Drummer inquiring about how much metal to spend before your first plant. I think generally I use maybe 4 to 500 before. I think it's pretty much a good rule of thumb. Most plants cost in the 700s of in the 700s of metal. So you generally want to leave yourself at least with enough metal to make one construction unit after you finish. No, it doesn't always work out like that, but it's a good rule of thumb. Sometimes I stall out. Actually, more often than not, I stall out. We've got Magpie getting a B. What's he doing? Oh, yep. Looks like he's getting a minefield up. He's starting with kilos, which I think early kilos aren't really necessary. They do more, so I'm not gonna knock it. They will blow more stuff up. Maybe kilos is the way to go because you might not need as many. Never thought about that. I usually run my energy dry trying to set up minefields. But if you're going against K-bots, the light mines will take out pretty much anything. Kilos is when you start encountering heavier like vehicles, and then megas for like advanced. So I don't see those used much. Looks like he's getting more mines put up. And Drummer coming in with a bomber here. Did manage to get one mechs out. It's pretty nice. Would have been great if he got that other one. Looked like it dropped its bombs a little early though. Twilight getting some exploiters up in the center here for some defense. Magpie going in with some fighters. Looks like I managed to slip by with the instigator here. He's already got pretty good hold there, though. I do have the weasel kind of causing Magpie grief here. Unfortunately, I had shoot all off. And I was not paying attention. That's a bummer. I was trying to get over here and knock Magpie's, finish those extractors off. And he just sucks me up. He just sucks me up. So we have some gunships and some bombers over here from Drummer. And he's getting some advanced solars up to help him out. Winds are really good on this map. Looks like I have some more weasels. I know that exploiter's there. I'm pretty sure I can kind of... They have enough LOS to see just the tip of that, I believe. I was trying to find one that wasn't done yet. I feel like I gave up on that. Magpie trying to set up a base up here, get a radar up. And we've got some bombers coming in from Drummer here. Looks like he's going for the air plant. Got it with the second one. So that's nice. That'll put Magpie behind a little bit. Especially with me over here raiding his metal as well. He is now switching to vehicles. He's got bees. That's all that matters. He saved his bees. That's the important part there. Looks like I'm starting to set up some exploiters by this pass here. This little chokehold. We've still got those mines. Drummers spreading out. Doing a good job at expanding here. He's also getting a K-Bot lab up. And down here, we've got Twilight really farming the wins. Some fighters, some gunships. If he had sent those down here, he could have just flown through. There is some pulverizers, but with those gunships, he really could have taken out all of these. Maybe just the first set of them. I would say at least the first set he would be able to get rid of. These ones over here might be safe. But that would have hurt him quite a bit. He is getting a lot of AA up. We've got Magpie moving in with some Peewees. Twilight suggesting raiding with the gunships, but seems he's lost it, so he's trying to go in with his K-Bots, but Drummer's got a pretty nice lead on him now. Nice little army building up here from Twilight. Looks like I've got a nice little army of my own. I pulled a Wolverine out to kind of help take care of these exploiters. And we've got some more Jethros moving through the center here. Looks like Magpie's struggling on energy too. The mines and the Twilights are probably draining him. He probably missing stuff here. So his army won, took me out. I did manage to save the Wolverine though. And he's going to attempt to push through here. Looks like he's coming up here. But I did just get all these exploiters up. And then I'm just going through and knocking out these front patches here. What was I saying though? He's on it. I was going to say it would do him well to build some wins or something. I would probably take a portion of the bees he has guarding this and move them to energy, because you don't want to build metal faster than you build energy. That's a great recipe to energy stall. He's trying to get some Twilights up here as well. That'll be nice because, I mean, first of all, they won't be easily raided because they won't be seen. But it also cloaks the area. So just going through and knocking that front line of mexes out. Finally came hip to me. Magpie doing a really good job at grabbing these with Twilights. Now you do need to get a lot of energy when you expand with Twilights, but it can certainly pay off, especially in the craters, where only air or K-bots can get to. Trying to get this Geo up and kind of just fortify up here. I did get some air up. I spotted these Twilights, but it's not easy for me to actually get rid of them. My vehicles won't get in there, and the few fighters I have don't do enough damage, as well as get killed by Jethros. So big push from Twilight here, but he was pushing against some exploiters and nothing big. He definitely had a bigger force, but those exploiters and the blade wings certainly helped out. He decided it wasn't a fight he wanted to fight. So that was smart. He pulled me away from the exploiters and came back with some AA for the blade wings. Unfortunately, I did get some raiders up to kind of help the blade wings to lock things down and clog everything up here, and then the raiders just kind of pick things apart. They don't have huge AoE, but they definitely have enough for it to matter. And then over here we've got Clash of the K-bots. Magpie using the tried and true Rocco Jethro mix here. It's my favorite. Against some gunships like that though, it's rough. So let's take a look here real quick. Alright, income wise, we've got myself at 40. Magpie leading the pack with 42. I'm right behind him at 40. Then there's Twilight 35 and Drummer 24. So Magpie's actually, he's almost doubling Drummer's income. It does look like he fixed his energy issues. So he does have 2 K-bot labs as well. What's he doing with these? So yeah, I mean that's smart. I would probably, he's got a couple of cons down here doing nothing. I would have them each guard a plant to try and overpower all this, because that's a lot of gunships. He definitely needs to kick up the Jethros, but he can't skimp out on the firepower because he's got K-bots of his own and apparently a blocker. I think here I was trying to get rid of Twilights that didn't exist anymore. And we're just doing a little more up there. Twilight, in the meantime, he's really fortifying here. He's got his units parking there, so that'd be hard to push through. And then he's got the exploiters. He's got pretty much all his stuff surrounded in Dragon's Teeth, which means I need to spend a lot more metal to get through that. Raiders, Shodins, or Instigators rather, everything I'm building here is not going to help against this stuff. I needed to make some Raiders, some more Wolverines. We've got Magpie up here doing some raiding with Freedom Fighters. I'm sure he's got quite a few mexes already. He did get 1 advanced solar. And some nice work there. Looks like he's trying to kind of just pick apart the lines here without getting too close to the blocker. Let's see. I think those fighters he used were the leftovers. No, he's got more. Okay, he's got a plant up again. Came over to scout. Twilight's got a nice forest, probably trying to get some intel before he pushes forward. And here we've got Magpie and Drummer just constantly going at it, throwing armies of K-bots at each other. He did manage to get up some gunships of his own. Unfortunately, he lost most of them before he could do considerable damage. Does look like he got one more advanced solar, though. Drummer getting some SAMs up to protect against the air. Since I wasn't experiencing too much push on my side, I did send some tanks over to assist him. See if I can't help turn the tides a little bit. And I had a hunch that because winds were so good, there'd be a lot of them, so I sent some freedom fighters. That, I wonder how much. I wish I had looked at how much energy he was making before. He's definitely doing a lot worse on energy, though. Pushing in with some AKs over here. I don't want to just sit around on my side because the AKs are like the distraction for us. This is my defense right here. I can't send that away, and I can't let his attack force get too much bigger. Drummer taking out those Twilights up there. Since I kind of softened the blow, I tried to go in with a portion of my defense force. Very unsuccessfully. Almost got the Eradicator, but he is repairing it. Magpie pushing back on Drummer. Looks like he got rid of a lot of gunships there. Coming up to the line of K-Bots, he did manage to get that. Oh. He got one blocker. There's still this one hanging around, though. Magpie trying to dip through the center to see what he can't get. Lots of gunships coming in. Lots of gunships coming in to raid. Did manage to get... He's gotten quite a few things so far. Few metal patches, some of my wins. He was able to stop him before it did too much damage, though. Although I did lose quite a bit of metal there. So I tried to go in with a counterattack of my own. Saw the dragon's teeth and said no thanks. I should have just gone right for those wins there. I got two of them. Did get quite a bit of metal as well, though. It's down here. Twilight's advanced. He's getting up his first fusion, it looks like. I'm also advanced. Both win advanced vehicles. Drummer's got advanced K-Bots over here. And Magpie is just pumping out the T1. Lots of AKs walking into a death trap. Not much I can do with that there. Not much. So with his advanced K-Bot, he's getting lots of Fidos and Ares. Some Mavericks too. Mavericks are really nice. They're basically like glass cannons, but boy do they hurt. The Ares, they're laser bots. Laser AA. So they do have a lot of range. They do only do 1/3 of the damage to ground, as with all anti-air in this game. But that range does help out a lot, especially against level 1 bots. And the Fidos are bringing some nasty firepower as well. You can actually switch them on and off and toggle between like direct and ballistic. So they can also act as like artillery. So right now, I mean, Twilight was in a pretty good position. This was really hard for me to push on. This wasn't going to happen with T1 stuff, so I'm helping him push against Magpie here. Lots of gunships, though, and I did not bring anti-air. I don't even have fighters to speak of. Drummer's got some AA, though. Not nearly enough right there. The Ares can probably take them out. Trying to chase down his gunships with my own. He's coming in for more raiding. He did decide to go against Drummer, though, which had some nice AA. He could have taken a lot of stuff out if he came this way. That was a worrisome moment. Trying to find a way through here. He does have a Guardian shelling me out. And it looks like he's building up for diplomats. Push through these showdowns here, but got erased. Magpie's in some serious trouble. So he's moving in. He's got the radar bot, the informant, to help with line of sight, and then he's just got his diplomats to sit there and pick stuff off. I don't really have much to stop a diplomat right now, especially with the defenses behind him. He's got the Moho exploiter up. I did manage to get one, but wasn't much else that I could do right there. He managed to just uproot this whole line. I'm getting some Reapers up. Meanwhile, Drummer's down here. He's really hammering Magpie. T2 isn't even going anywhere. It's just sitting up on the hill. So he's really just pushing Magpie with level 1 bots. Got some gunships coming in. But because of the dragon's teeth, they really can't do anything. Informants up here, clearing the rest of the hill. I think there's a Twilight there. Yeah. Is there one right there? Nope. Managed to use my gunship successfully for once. He did spot those Reapers, though. And we're trying to come in with Reapers to see if we can't plow through here, but they all got clogged up. It's like 4,000 metal right there wasted. The Banshee's trying to come in and take care of this T2. Looks like he got a few things, but it's largely still there. Twilight's getting a Firestorm up in the front here. Really great for just large area of effect. You do have to make sure it's at the front because it does have a lot of friendly fire. Magpie is pretty much putting everything he can into holding drummer off. Let's take a look here. So he did manage to pass up. Magpie was at the top with 42 metal. He's been knocked down to 26 now. We've got myself. No, we've got Twilight up on 50 metal, leading the pack. Right behind him at 48, and then drummer's bumped up to 32. So Magpie is now being out-resourced. It doesn't help that I'm kind of bullying him. Twilight was just really hard to push against. So a lot of this game I did help drummer out against Magpie, raiding things here and there. I don't know what's going on here. We've got some Crocs. Got some Crocs coming in. I think he built them. They're cheap and they have a lot of speed. He's probably trying to get up close to the toaster. My MRU made it all the way to the parking. But the Shodans with the... I mean, we've got the Guardian back here. We've got a normal exploiter there and a Moho exploiter there. It's just kind of like a death trap, you know? This shoots in here. This shoots in here. And then the Guardian shoots up here. So, like, once they hit right here, it's a kill zone. Especially with the Shodans shooting as well. Big K-bot battle going on up here. Looks like he's taking out the fighters over there as well. I'm not sure what I was trying to accomplish, if I'm being honest. Because I never accomplished anything by sending planes that way. I do have some banishers up to help defend. And it looks like I'm getting a tremor as well. So it looks like he really wasn't behind though. Jethro just wasn't dying. Not sure what that was about. Looks like he is... What was that? I think he had another diplomat. Something came up and hit the toaster. I'm not sure what. So looks like I'm building up some artillery here, trying to get rid of... I should have also used diplomats. That would have worked well. Yeah, he's getting more diplomats up. So Magpie just barely keeping drummer at bay. I think mostly because he just hasn't walked off the hill yet. He's just keeping them alive, which is doing him wonders. Because he's just saving that metal. I would have wasted it. I would have walked in. I probably would have gotten mauled. Wow, that's a lot of bombers. That's a lot of bombers. We've got Magpie getting advanced air up down by Twilight here. So it looks like he's pretty much forsaken his base there. We've got the Tremor over here firing on the Punisher. Unsuccessfully, though. Almost got it. I should have had the Pillagers shooting it as well. They were shooting this way. He was supposed to take out the... Tremor was supposed to take out this one. Pillagers were supposed to take out that one. I barely took out anything. Just a constant K-bot clash up here between Drummer and Magpie. Like the matchup, I find the matchup here funny. Like you've got the two people just lots of bombers coming in. I don't know if that was the best target for all those. Twilight getting a toaster of his own up. Like we've got the two people making tons of units and clashing them here, and then we've got Twilight with his nice defensive line and doing stuff like diplomats, and then there's me. Not as nice as Twilight's defensive line, but I'm not gonna knock it. It works. It works. And then pretty much same kind of deal, just like, well, maybe I'll try a tremor. Maybe I'll try some armor. Lots of bees over here. Feel like he could really use those bees to pump out more units, getting advanced up real quick. Speaking of advanced, he just abandoned it, it looks like. Maybe he was having energy issues and that's why. Drummer slowly moving his defenses up as he pushes Magpie back. He's slowly just gaining ground on him. He's now got a chainsaw up. Not the best against the ground units, but it will do the job if it's there for purely support. Twilight coming in with lots of bombers on this stuff here. Just barely didn't take the toaster out. Had he taken the group of bombers that came this way, I think that toaster would have been gone. I'm not even sure what killed all those. Hang on. I guess the firestorm would have shot a lot. But in terms of AA, I really don't have anything. The Moho exploiter was probably shooting them. All the exploiters I have were probably shooting them, but like I had no AA. I was really worried. Magpie coming in, bomb that chainsaw out. Twilight, asking him to, if he can, get a nice defensive line up. I don't know if he's still building this. Trying to come in. I tried to take some, I don't remember what they're called. Termites. Termites in over the crater there, but wasn't very successful. Magpie getting some chainsaws up. I wouldn't put them so close, because then, anything with AoE, even if they take a little bit of damage, it's a little bit that they wouldn't take if you just like did something like this, If you can even see that. No idea why he's got so many fighters, so I sent mine in. Lots of Goliaths here. I really want to see this real time, because they died pretty easy. Okay. So they do have 2 Moho exploiters and a firestorm shooting on them, as well as the Tremor and Shodins. Okay, well that explains it. For a lot of armor, though. speed it back up a bit. We've got push coming in from Drummer here, but the chainsaws are gonna eat anything without armor, pretty much. Trying to send some Goliaths of my own in. I did get a Juno up to kind of knock out this defensive line and get rid of the Dragon's Teeth, wreckage, things like that. I think what Magpie could really use right now is a Guardian. I'm just hammering away his defensive line with the Juno there. Got some Reapers and a Tremor to follow up. Junos have to be kind of close to their targets, but they can be really nice. They also die really easy. Melt this toaster. I got the Tremors in back, just hammering on it as well. And with that, we pretty much did a good number to the defensive line here. We just have the Moho Exploiter left. That's really a threat. Magpie coming in with lots of bees. Not the best use of bees. Not the best use. He could have used those bees to assist advance. To get a defensive line up. He could use those bees for a lot of things. I guess he doesn't really have the metal to use them all, but he probably just lost a lot of metal by sending them to do that. Looks like Twilight got an advanced fort up here. Let's see if he can't help out Magpie. Oh, but let's take a look real quick. Right in the middle of the action, let's take a look. So he built 3, 6, 7 chainsaws, which is like, that's 500 metal a piece. So he spent 3,500 metal on chainsaws. He could have built like 3 chainsaws that would have covered air, 1,500, and he would have had 15. Sorry, my cat. He would have had a couple thousand, I think, right? A couple thousand left over. He could have built a Guardian. That's only 1,000. It's a little bit cheaper than 2 chainsaws, so he could have put up 3 Guardians with that metal and 1 chainsaw even. Overkill, but he could have put like 2 Guardians up and 3 chainsaws, and that would have done him much better justice. Or, you know, 2 Guardians, chainsaw and a couple Sams. Especially with defenses, I feel you should never just go all in on one thing. Twilight's defensive line had some pulverizers, some HLLTs, a couple Guardians, toasters. He had the Moho Exploiters, the Firestorms. It's very diverse and it's hard to counter. Moho Exploiters in general can be a pain, but you see, I've held him with my defenses pretty well. Twilight probably should have tried to go around. I probably would have been the best option for him instead of trying to crash through here. If he took those Goliaths and he went, I wish you could draw on the mega map. That would be a nice feature to add. But if he had taken like those Goliaths and he'd gone through here, there's a few things here now as parking. He could have just ran straight back and there's nothing. It's really just a matter of information. So like getting a wall up. Where was I? I stepped out for a second. So Twilight getting a wall up. Oh, information though. Like, they both had air. If they had done some more scouting, Magpie had tried to go through the center early on. Right now it's kind of not a great idea. It is a great idea to intercept these things, but you see, like, if they had pushed through the center, it would have been fair game. Would have had some air, but they would have gotten the head start on us instead of trying to, like, come through here where all the defenses are, or come through here where all the defenses are. It's a choke point, right? You could even come up here, you know, you can walk right over those or drive right over those. I said because Twilight, not really anymore, because I've really stepped up my economy and I haven't had the pressure like he has, but we were pretty equal metal-wise for a while. He had a little bit more than me even. It's just a matter, like, we just kept throwing. I mean, I was guilty of the same thing. I was throwing myself into his defensive line. I should have just gone around. It's real easy to get stuck stuck on that, like, oh, there's a lot of defenses here, let me I gotta get rid of them. Well, no, there's a huge map. I could have came in any of these areas. I could have gone all the way through Drummers and dipped over this way, vice versa. But right now it looks like we're pretty much just doing a final push coming up. Twilight is getting a Timmy up. We've got a lot of raiders coming through finally to get rid of the stuff in Dragon's Teeth. Found some of Magpie's stuff, and then Drummer's going over here, hitting Magpie from the side as well. Especially on a map like this, if there's only 2 teams or 2 people on the team, the middle's almost always going to be open. That doesn't change. That usually doesn't change. If they came up through here, I think these are regular moho mines. Yeah. There were exploiters there before I swapped them out, but exploiters aren't the best thing. They'll do some damage, but if you have a big enough group, you can just eat them up. So, like, if they had come through here, free game. Free for the pickings, pretty much. Like, just, I would have lost a lot of energy, and this is any time throughout the game. He is hammering me with that Timmy, though. He did just increase the accuracy, I believe, and the AoE, so they're more effective. He wanted to kind of... I flew right off. He wanted to give you a reason for building those instead of the Vulcans or the Buzzsaws. I'm not sure what he's aiming at. Probably something back here. Air plant, maybe. He knows where that's at. And Drummer's pretty much taking out Magpie here. He's got like 2 things left. What's that? Moho mine. And then, you know, that's pretty much it. It was a really good game. Very well played, I thought. The back and forth looked pretty intense between Drummer and Magpie. They didn't have too much in terms of defenses. Drummer had a few things. Magpie had a few things, but mostly it was just a never-ending K-bot clash between them. Looked like a pretty good game. And then over here, it was like a stalemate. We were we were both stuck on going through this one pass and running into defenses. But like I said, if I had gone around with some of those armies I had, I would have done way better, because I could have just came through here, came around. Sometimes I just get so what you call it, laser focus. So tunnel vision. I get tunnel vision. But scouting would have... It's not something that's done enough. Okay, here, in terms of energy produced, it was me, and Twilight wasn't far behind. I mean, that's 1,100, so like 27 million energy produced, and he was at 17 million energy produced. It's like a 10 million difference, but once you hit a certain number, it is what it is. I wasted twice the amount he did, so you know, I wasted 8 million of that energy. So yeah, and then we had Drummer coming in at 10 million and Magpie at 6 million. I think these are millions. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 7. Okay. And then Metal, we had myself at 511,000, Drummer at 425,000, Twilight 205,000, and Magpie 142,000. 143 pretty much. So they definitely were out-resourced. I feel like it was pretty close there a lot of the game. Then in terms of excess, like I said, I have 8 million excess energy. Drummer did really good with his excess. And Magpie, excess energy is something that's always going to happen, honestly. Metal, though, Twilight and Magpie did amazing with their excess metal. Didn't even reach four digits there. Drummer was a bit high there. He was 18,000 excess metal. And then I was also a little high at 3,000. I'm pretty bad. Sometimes I do amazing, but those are usually games where I guess I feel like I'm starving on metal because I'm not wasting any, but I'm either doing great with it or I'm doing terrible with it. It's one thing that's really hard for me to nail down, at least. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.